What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut. And today, we're going to be discussing the Tavon Austin trade, which occurred during the 2013 NFL Draft. Now, this was a trade of 6 draft picks between the LA Rams and the Buffalo Bills that saw the Rams move up 8 spots in the first round of the draft. So how did this trade work out? We're going to start by discussing the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Rams got 2 picks in this trade, the first of which was the 8th overall, which they would use to select wide receiver Tavon Austin. Now, Austin had a decent first season in the league, as he would record 40 receptions for 418 yards and 4 touchdowns. However, his production would dip a little bit in 2014, as he ended that year with 31 catches for 242 yards. Now, his next 2 seasons were the best of his career. In 2015, Austin recorded 52 catches for 473 yards and a career-high 5 touchdowns. In 2016, he set his career highs in receptions with 58 and yards with 509, while adding a respectable 3 touchdowns. However, his production would take a huge drop in 2017, as he ended that campaign with only 13 receptions for 47 yards. Now, during his time with the Rams, he also spent time as a solid return man. He would return 158 punts for 1,324 yards and 3 touchdowns, as well as 25 kickoffs for 451 yards. Now, he was traded after 2017. He was traded to the Dallas Cowboys in exchange for a 2018 6th-round pick. This pick would become the 192nd selection. With that, the Rams would pick guard Jamel Demby. Now, Demby would make the 53-man roster, but he was cut before the first game of the season, and then he spent some time in Detroit on the practice squad. He did come back to the Rams, but he wasn't really a factor. He appeared in a couple games, but he wasn't that good. So, lastly, the Rams also got the 71st pick in 2013. They would use that to select safety TJ McDonald. Now, McDonald won the starting job out of training camp. However, he would miss 6 games with a fractured leg bone, but all things considered, he played decently as a rookie, recording 53 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 interception. Now, he had a strong second season, recording a career-high 104 tackles with 2 sacks, while adding another interception. Now, in 2014, he had a decent 11 games, as he would record 63 tackles and a sack before a shoulder injury ended a season early. And in 2015, he had another solid year. He would record 64 tackles, a pair of picks, and a sack, but then he would walk as a free agent. All in all, this wasn't the best trade for the Rams. Now, how did the Buffalo Bills do? They got 4 picks, the first of which was the 16th pick, which they would use to select quarterback EJ Manuel. Now, Manuel was drafted to be a franchise quarterback, and he was named the starter after the preseason, as he did impress enough, and he was decent as a rookie. He would throw for 1,972 yards, 11 touchdowns, with 9 interceptions across 10 games. Now, he did miss 6 games this year due to a knee injury, so not the best. Now, he had a 58.8% completion percentage. Now, he was a starter the next season, but after 4 lackluster games, he was benched. Over those 4 games, he threw for 883 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He didn't improve enough, so the team said, all right, we're going to bench you. Now, in 2015, Manuel started a pair of games. Over those games, he would throw for 561 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. Now, on October 25th, Manuel lost a game in London. This made him the first quarterback in NFL history to lose in 3 different countries: the USA, Canada, and the United Kingdom. He started a single game in 2016, throwing for 265 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. But after that, he was allowed to walk as his rookie contract had expired. Not the best pick for Buffalo. Then you got the 46th pick, which they would use to select linebacker Kiko Alonso. Now, Alonso had a very strong rookie season, as he won the starting job at middle linebacker. He ended the year with career highs in tackles with 159, 2 sacks, and 4 interceptions. Now, he did receive some votes for Rookie of the Year as well, but he did not win. Now, he would tear his ACL while working out before the 2014 season began, so he didn't play for them in 2014. And then he would be traded to the Philadelphia Eagles on a rare player-for-player swap that netted Buffalo running back LaShawn McCoy. Now, LaShawn McCoy started off the 2015 season slowly, but he rebounded well, recording 203 carries for 895 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, his season ended 4 games early due to a sprained MCL that year. Now, he had a strong season in 2016. He rushed the ball 234 times for 1,267 yards and 13 touchdowns. Now, this led to him being ranked the 27th best player in the NFL by his fellow players. Now, he had another solid year in 2017, carrying the football 287 times for 1,138 yards and 6 touchdowns. In Week 15 of that year, McCoy would rush for his 10,000th career yard. He had a strong showing in the playoffs, but the team would lose in the first round. As a result for his strong performance, the players would rank him as the 30th best in the league. Now, the offense of the Bills struggled in 2018, and McCoy was no exception. He would record 161 carries for 514 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, he ended up getting released prior to the 2019 season, but all said and done, he was a 3-time Pro Bowler, and he's a member of the NFL 2010s All-Decade Team, in part to what he did in Philly, but in part to what he did in Buffalo. Plus, he got a Super Bowl ring with Kansas City, but didn't do anything there. So, there's still 2 more picks for Buffalo. They also got the 78th pick, which they would use to select wide receiver Marquise Goodwin. Now, Goodwin had a quiet rookie year, recording 17 catches for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. But unfortunately for him, multiple different injuries would slow him down over his next 2 years, as he only managed to record 3 receptions for 54 yards. Now, he did manage to finally stay healthy in 2016, but he only caught 29 passes for 431 yards with 3 touchdowns, and then the team decided he wasn't fitting with the offense, so they allowed him to walk. The last pick that Buffalo got was the 222nd pick, which they would use to select tight end Chris Gregg. Now, across 3 years in Buffalo, Gregg would record 24 receptions for 251 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Now, he was on the team for the 4th year, but he missed it with a torn ACL, and then he would walk. Honestly, not a bad pick for a 7th rounder. Now, that discusses the Rams and the Bills. How did the Cowboys and the Eagles do? We're going to start by discussing the Dallas Cowboys. Now, they would get wide receiver Tavon Austin. And Austin had a decent half season, as he would record 8 catches for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns before a groin injury would end his season. Now, he did catch 13 passes for 177 yards and a touchdown in 2019, but Dallas decided he wasn't worth keeping around, so they allowed him to walk. Lastly, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who got linebacker Kiko Alonso. And Alonso would start the season as a backup, but he partially tore his ACL in Week 2, which caused him to miss 5 games. All said and done, he ended the 2015 season with 43 tackles and a single interception. He would then be traded away by the team, and we did discuss this in the Carson Wentz trade, which will be linked in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was the Tavon Austin trade. It may not be the most important trade in NFL history, but it was worth discussing just because of Tavon Austin and EJ Manuel. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a good rest of your day.